We're back, people, and today we're breaking down film on Chopper Robinson, Miami Dolphins edge defender, and this was his best game of the season, especially from a pass rush perspective. He created many pressures, got a sack in this game, and it was nice to see, like, he was abusing this poor right tackle, but he did it in a couple different ways. In the stunt game, he was able to, win knifing to the inside, being that crash guy. He was also able to win off the edge, getting around there, using speed to power, but also like a push-pull, playing with some more bend, I think, in this game too, which was nice to see. Seems more under control when he's, working as the loop guy, and just I think a lot of things like consistently beating him, getting after. Probably could have got some holding calls in this game that didn't get called either. It just seems like his one-on-ones, he was moving Stafford off to the spot, or like the ball was coming out super quickly and he would have gotten there if it wasn't a super instant pass. Just a lot of things I think to like in this game from Chop. Even, his ability, I think, is an edge that's usually a pass rusher, has some decent ability to drop into coverage. Not perfect versus the run by any means, but you can clearly tell that he is improving, which is a nice sign. It did a lot of this off the left, like as the left defensive end too, going versus the right tackle, which is something I've asked for because he has been playing mostly right defensive end in the other games. But I always thought, coming out of Penn State in college, left defensive end is where he looked more natural, and he got the better matchup going against this Rams right tackle who had been struggling. But this play number one, the sack, just the first step. I mean, he's so explosive. Like here, you get this is a stunt, so he is the crash guy. Like they have the whole D line. Everyone else is aligned on the right side of the D line here. They're past the center, but they're trying to crash Chop down and create this loop for Campbell. But Chop is so fast and so much room's created because the right tackle also slides to the left, that Chop is so explosive that when he knives the inside here, he's able to get downhill, reduce the surface area, dip those shoulders, and then explode upfield vertically, which he's very comfortable doing a lot of this stuff. When he's able to knife to the inside, I want to see more reps with him aligned on the inside too. I think that can take advantage of his skill set, but getting his second sack of the year, this is, in back-to-back weeks too, back-to-back sacks. You can tell the lights really clicking for him. That's why I was never on, like, the Chop Robinson's a bust train. People are overreactionary on those types of things. Definitely was never on, like, people are calling him Charles Harris. And, like, that's not the case. Like, he's way more explosive athletic than Harris ever was. So, like, he would still, even if he never developed, like, another pass rush move and, didn't get better from this point on, he would still always have that explosiveness to still have those reps. He can still potentially win just like this. Like, his ability to knife to the inside and win when he's not even really trying to win here. Like, he's trying to crash down and create a loop, get this guy to commit to him, also potentially take out the guard for Campbell to get a free lane, which Campbell would have gotten a free lane if Chop didn't finish here. So just excellent play. And then he just sort of kept the right tackle off balance, used different moves. Guy does a little more of a jump set here. He gets aggressive, gets into Chop pretty early, and Chop is able to respond with using that, basically uses some power here, bull rush, but then turns it into a push and pull to a rip down. So that's nice to see him combine these, because we've seen him use this move right here. He's been up underneath. He has natural leverage because he's on the shorter side. He lifts them up, but now he always kind of like, I think his short arms hurt him because he doesn't have the longest arms, but here to be able to be engaged and then now push, pull that guy down, pull him off balance, and then rip underneath, and then potentially could have gotten a holding call too. But he's able to get there and then get a nice QB hit on Stafford. Ball gets completed because Stafford is just really good. But this is a really good rep. He wins this very nicely. Nice to see him doing these things in just a couple different ways. Another QB hit with him looping and just the explosiveness. I think he showing more patience, better timing here. Because if you were watching him in earlier in the season when he was working on stunts where he was either a crash guy or the loop guy, I feel like he was playing a little too out of control. Either losing his balance, he was playing too fast for his own good. But here, especially on the loop, you got to be more patient, which he is. Allows it to develop, and then boom. Once it happens, then you explode, and he's so fast like that he gets this room that he is able to get between these two alignment when they see him coming, but he's just so fast, and he got a nice hit on Stafford, and the ball is forced to come out very quickly to Cup underneath, just kind of winning in that way. Also, just like getting around the edge, like ripping underneath. Could have got hands to the face here. Like, this is why I've shown, like that hand is right to the face of Chop. Like, he could have had multiple penalties, I think, called for him in this game. But I think he does a good job fighting through this. Like, gets hands to his face, but good job ripping and dipping to fight that hand up and then just showing some bend to potentially get after the quarterback. Like, he probably gets a little too far past, but I can excuse that, I think, especially because he got hands to the face. But there's still some nice things to like about this play, even though the ball comes out, he probably would have gone a little bit far past, but I think there was some recovery to be had there. Chop getting another involved pressure. This time they bring the blitz. He's looping with Brooks. He does a better job staying patient. He combines this pretty well. He presses up into this guy initially, gets Brooks to take him, and he sidesteps it, explodes through. Him and Holland are able to get to the quarterback. I think Holland gets full credit for the sack, but Chop was there to make a play. Same with Jordan Brooks. Just love all the different usages that I think you can have for him as a player, and just continuously getting better, because this was like the first game where I'm like, yeah, it was just pretty much good across the board. Like, even like last week versus the Bills, there were some reps, I think he would like back. Maybe in this game there was some too, but not as noticeable, at least. And those are types of reps I think just most edge players, even the best, have throughout the game. Like, you're gonna have your losses. It's just the nature of these positions. But like, even here, like, it's nice to see him throwing this. Like, he misses this move, but he's trying to win to the outside and throw a two-hand swipe. We haven't seen that really from him. He's clearly trying to get better. Apparently, we've heard that he's having one-on-one sessions with Bradley Chubb and Teron Armstead, like after practices and stuff, trying to get better at things he can improve upon, and it's clearly showing. Nice to see him trying to win to the outside here with a two-hand swipe. We've seen him try to do the dip, the rip, use the speed to power, but nice at least trying to throw that. It doesn't work, but he's still able to, get around the edge. Potentially, if Stafford was forced to step back, he'd be there. Having Sealer back, I think, was huge too. But he has to win to the outside here because Campbell and Sealer are working a stunt. You don't want to win to the inside and kind of mess up this lane for Sealer, so that's a reason he's trying to win off the edge there and kind of force that throwaway. This is one I could have seen be a holding because no boom hooks him, but it's another boom, get engaged quickly, use push to pull. When this guy jump sets you and you're maybe not able to get off the ball as quickly as you like and use speed to power, you push, pull, use your leverage, rip and dip underneath. He probably gets hooked here. He shows some bend. I like that he stays on his feet too, which is a big sign, because sometimes when you try to use these, dip, rip, and bend around the corner, he would fall a lot. He showed better balance in this game, especially when he was low like this. He's getting hooked around. Could have easily got a holding call, didn't, and then forces just a quick dump off to a running back because he was basically about to get a pressure on Stafford, potentially even get a QB hit. But yeah, just I think a lot of reps where he won, even when he wasn't getting like sacks and stuff like that. Like, this one isn't like a super clean win, but it's nice to see him, show off some foot fire, different footworks off the ball, which just keeps the offensive lineman on his toes, and then use your power to bull rush, and you create a little bit of a push right there to at least move Stafford. Like, he creates the initial movement here. So, like, he doesn't get, like, the most clean win ever, but he creates that movement from Stafford initially, and now it forces him to, like, throw that ball. I mean, it would have been a throwaway, but they do get a completion out of it. But it's nice to see him forcing QBs off his spot. That's at least, what you want on those types of plays. Speed to power kind of forces another dump off, gets a one-on-one, kind of creates the most movement in the pocket if you look at him compared to the rest of the D-line on this play. It's another one where, like, it wasn't a clear win, really, for, like, most of the guys. But you can see, like, he has power, man, because when he first gets engaged with, I believe that's No Boom is the guy's name, he pushes him back pretty far. Like, he forces him to anchor, like, twice. Like, Chop plays with some power and at least, like, makes Stafford slightly uncomfortable on the play. So, like, even the reps where he wasn't, like, getting some, like, clear, obvious win, he was affecting plays. Even dropping into coverage, like, boom, get hands on number 3, kind of force him down the field, pass that off, and then find who becomes the number 2, drop, as that flat defender down there, and just take away throwing lanes, and then Campbell's able to get a sack. Having someone that can do this, especially when you like to show these pressures up front, is pretty valuable, because a lot of edges can't really drop into coverage, and I wouldn't say it's like a huge strength of his, but it is something that he is capable of, and just gives you more versatility as a defensive play caller, and it's nice to see that part of Chop's game kind of play well. Here's another one that I could have also seen as a potential holding call. He's able to knife to the inside, wins initially here versus the tight end, and just gets kind of pushed off to the side. He kind of gets hooked there. But it's nice to see him at least create some initial disruption. I feel like he could have played it better at this point to, not get washed there, but I think it could have been holding. But he does force the running back to make like a quick decision, and the linebacker's able to fill. So even though I don't think his plays versus the run were the best, he was still able to create a little bit of disruption. He also got a lot of attention this game. Like, they consistently had a running back or tight end chipping him on a lot of plays. Here, the tight ends to his side, but he is the crash guy, so he crashes down here, takes 2 to 3 guys on him for then Campbell to loop around. The tackle comes off of it late, but Campbell would have had a pretty clean lane and kind of forces Stafford to get to his check down pretty quickly because Chop is getting a ton of attention nowadays. And you got to think, if Phillips was healthy with Chop playing like this, Chop would have even better opportunities, and then he might even get that with Bradley Chubb coming back maybe in the coming weeks. So that's definitely nice to see. But here's Chop getting chipped again. He's so much attention with the tight end chipping him. Then he loops around late, and you can just see that extra bit of explosiveness. He loops around late and then gives a little bit of a hesitation on 72, and then boom, dip underneath. Gets hooked around again, gets past him very quickly. Stafford is just getting rid of the ball. But you can just see the potential when it comes to playing versus guards on these stunts, and that's why I want him aligned on the inside, because he has a little bit of space to work with, and he gives him something. He can get underneath that so fast. Like, all it took was one little hesitation move, and then dip underneath. He would have had that rep very, very one if it wasn't forced to be late off the ball because the tight end was constantly chipping him. But yeah, just a lot of things that I think Chop Robinson did really well to disrupt this game. He got a sack very quickly in this one. He created, like, I believe 6 pressures, multiple QB hits. Just really, really excited for his development, and could add multiple penalties called, I think, in his favor too. So hopefully that development continues. It was a pretty, like, the right tackle for the Rams is not very good, so it was an advantageous matchup, but the fact that he's not very good and you're able to beat him many, many times, I think it's still a good sign. It shows that you're, like, above his level of playing skill, and I think that is a good sign. And he did a pretty good job versus Deion Dawkins last week, who is a good left tackle for the Bills. So hopefully he can continue to build on this. It's very much needed. It's one of the things I think the Dolphins needed the most is more pressure up front, only bringing 4, and I think having Steeler back helped, and having Chop take the next step is huge for the Dolphins defense, and I think it was a very important part to why they were able to be successful in this game versus the Rams. So if you're new, just like, comment, subscribe,